we're talking about lists, the mutability of lists. Okay, and how many functions of list have we done till now? Two. One's a pop and append. Okay, let us say we have this list. Okay, and if I do, ये क्या हो गया? Anyway, what do you think is going to happen to this B? हाँ, यहीं से बंद हुआ था ना पिछली बार. अच्छा, ये चक्कर हुआ था. इन पे F लिखा हुआ, मुझे लगा फैन के. फैन तो इसमें है ही नहीं. F शायद फ्रंट के लिए है, मैंने इसीलिए उस दिन ऑफ नहीं किया था इनको. Anyway, so what do you think is going to happen to the list B? हाँ, कुछ गलती करी है मैंने? क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? प्रखर. हाँ, मैं सही किया ना? हाँ, तुम देख रहे हो, मुझे बड़ा वो लग रहा है, एंजाइटी हो रही है कि मैंने कुछ गलत कर दिया है. Anyway, what do you think? हाँ, लिस्ट के अंदर लिस्ट. Yeah, you are right. So it is going to look something like this. So the last element of the list B is a list 4, 5, 6. So if you want to see the last element, what could we do? If we don't want to count how many elements are there, then we could do -1 as I have previously told you. Square brackets लगाने. Okay, so the last element of this list is another list which has 3 elements, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so let us talk about a couple more functions of list that might be useful to you. Yeah, for pop, so b dot pop, what is this going to do? It is going to remove the last element and return that as a value. In this case it's a list. Now B is only, does not contain any lists anymore. Okay, and if I want to do, let us say if I do this, what is it going to do? It is going to remove the element at the second position. Okay, because our position starts from 0, so 0, 1, 2. The second position in this case was ABC, so it returned ABC and that got removed from the list B. Okay, so you can remove any specific element that you want, but most of the times pop is going to be used for the last element. But so therefore the default value is the last element. So if you don't give any argument, it's going to remove the last element. But even if you are not giving any argument, you still have to apply give brackets. Okay, because brackets signify that it's a function or a method. Okay, and what else? Now there is another function called a method called count. Okay, so what is this going to do? So it is saying count how many times 2 appears in the list B. Okay, so it is going to tell you that count 2 appears twice, 2 times in this list B. Okay, so these are inbuilt functions of list, inbuilt methods of list. Okay, and let us say we want to insert an element somewhere. Okay, let us say we want to insert 3. So first we give the index where we want to insert something, and then we give whatever we want to insert. So what should be, what should, let us go and insert at the second place let us insert a string test. Okay, so where is this going to go? After 4.5 or before 4.5? Okay, it goes before 4.5. So finally it goes into, so that is the final index of whatever we are inserting. Okay, everything else moves to the right. Okay, blue shirt क्या नाम है? हाँ हाँ hit HET hate yeah okay. क्या मतलब होता है हेत का? हित तो पता है मुझे, हेत नहीं पता. सेम ही है. ओके या कितने लोगों को पता है हित का मतलब? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो व्हाट हित इज? क्या होता है? बेनिफिट. ओके, और बेनिफिट से ज़्यादा 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 एक्यूरेट क्या होगा? हाँ, फेवर. क्या तुम्हें क्या लगता है हित? हित एनीवे, अगर तुम्हारे पास कोई वर्ड नहीं है तो ऑब्वियसली इट्स ऑल राइट. सो यू सीम कंफ्यूज्ड, सो दैट देयरफॉर देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन मार्क ऑन योर फेस. देयर वाज, व्हाई वाज देयर? हाँ, करो, ये तुम्हारा काम है, करो करो. राइट इन योर नोटबुक. इट्स नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट. Let us say we do this. So b minus 1 is going to give me the last element of this list. What is the last element of this list? Another list 4 5 6, and I want to access the first element. 0 से start होता है ना, so the first element of this list. So what do I do? Should it work? बिना ब्रैकेट के भी चल जाता है. ठीक है, नहीं कॉमा नहीं चलता, because it's not so this is not a 2-dimensional array. Please try to understand that. Comma works when there are 2-dimensional arrays, so x comma y. So what are we doing here? We are accessing the last element of the list b. Well, how do we access the last element of the list b? By b minus 1, and then we are saying access the first element of that list if it's a list. In this case it's a list, so therefore it doesn't throw an error. In all other cases it's going to throw an error because that list doesn't exist. Okay, brackets are not required, it works fine. Okay, it understands what you mean. Okay, so is that all right? Heath, fine. तो तभी पूछ लेते ना, इतनी देर क्यों वेट करा? Anyway, I didn't find that what I was talking about was really that confusing. This is, yeah, you're right though, but anyway. So what else? Let us say I want to add multiple items at the end of the list. ठीक है, अगर मुझे मान लो 4 5 6 ऐड करना है तो I can do extend 4 5 6. So what does that do? It extends the list. Okay, so so extend has an argument which is a list. So what does it do? It sort of concatenates the list, but that concatenation happens in place. Okay, so b का जो id है वो क्या रहेगा? सेम रहेगा. अभी तक जो हमने पिछली क्लास में concatenation जो the last thing that we talked about was concatenation. So when we were saying b is equal to b plus a or b plus c, it was creating a new id. So this concatenation is happening in place. ठीक है, so b gets permanently modified with this new list. So what do you think is going to be the last 4 elements of this list? b. Last 4 elements क्या होंगे? Good. ठीक है, is that all right? Any questions? नहीं? Okay, so that is extend. If we want to remove an element, okay, if we want to remove the first element or first occurrence of an element, so you can do B dot remove, let us say I want to get rid of the first 2. Okay, so what is that going to do? It is going to remove and throw it away. Okay, pop, what did pop do? Pop removed it and returned back the value. Okay, if we are not interested in that value, we can also use the remove function. So this is sort of a subset of the pop function. Okay, so 2 is gone. Okay, but pop was a little different. In pop you had to tell the index. In the case of remove you are telling the value. Okay, so it's huh? Hey, first that's how it works. It removes the first occurrence of a particular element. तो मल्टीपल चलाते रहो. ओके, नहीं. सो दैट इज़ वाई. सो आज कहाँ से कौन सी बात आ रही है? इलेक्ट्रिक गिटार है ये. ठीक है, इन ऑलमोस्ट एनी अदर लैंग्वेज इट वुड बी लाइक एटलीस्ट 2 pages ऑफ कोड टू डू दिस. ओके, 2 pages ऑफ कोड चाहिएगा किसी भी और किसी लैंग्वेज में ये करने के लिए एटलीस्ट. Because first of all creating a list, so creating an array and then moving, so you have to remove the element, then you have to move all the elements to the left hand side, or when you are inserting you have to move all the elements to the right hand side and then insert. So it's complicated. Okay, but let's not worry about that for now. Let us say our life is easy. We are working with Python, which allows us to do all these things. Okay, so pop we have already talked about, and index. So b dot index 2, ये क्या करेगा? Any idea what this might do? It is going to give you the index of the location where 2 occurs for the first time. Okay, so it occurs at index 6. Okay, and obviously ये भी है. Okay, I don't know how many of you might have done sorting in your life, but it's a complicated process. Okay, so this has an inbuilt function which most of the times you won't be allowed to use. Okay, but I'm telling you for completeness. क्या परेशानी हो गई इसको? अच्छा, is not supported between float and string. Okay, so okay, it's sorted. Again, this happens in place. It's a permanent change. So c dot so let us try that. We'll do that. Yeah, it does. When string and float both are there, then it might not work. That was the error that it gave. No, and not supported between instance of float and string. Both are present. Okay, so what happened here? What happens to C? It becomes sorted. Okay, let us try one more thing. Let us do this. अब अच्छा दोनों चीज़ें हो गई. Anyway, I was trying to do something else. Let us say if we do this. What do you think? Does it allow us the sorting? Yeah, it doesn't allow. Okay, string is not allowed. If only strings were there, then it might work. Okay, if only strings were there, then it might work. Okay, string cannot be, because string cannot be really compared with a number. Okay. Okay. चलो करते हैं ट्राई. Okay. So what is the answer of this going to be? 4A वाला सबसे पहले आएगा, 3A वाला सबसे पहले आएगा, फिर 4A वाला आएगा. Maybe. Let us see what. Yeah, you are right. ठीक है, like in a normal dictionary. That's how this sorting works. Okay.
Capital or small letters.
Yeah, that we can try. What do you think is going to happen here? Huh? Anyway, क्या होगा? I knew that this is going to happen. That's why I chose to capitalize. क्या कहते हैं, ABC जो last element था मैंने उसको capitalize किया था, because I expected this to happen. Yeah. So every whenever we're talking about strings, so computers को तो कुछ पता नहीं है string क्या होती है या क्या है. So every string is finally stored, every letter is stored as a coding. Okay, one of those codings possibly is called as ASCII. ठीक है, ASCII coding, it's a 7-bit coding with 128 values. 2 to the power 7 is 128. ठीक है, 128 values होती हैं, उन 128 में ये ABCD आते हैं. So if you look at the numbering of the symbols, you'll see that capital ABC lie before small ABC. That's why it's sorting it like that. Okay. So it is finally not really sorting based on our human dictionary, but it is sorting based on ASCII dictionary. Okay. ठीक है. So the capital A to Z start from I think 65 to something. Okay, 65 is capital A, and then I think small a is I think 90 or something. 97. Okay, whatever. But capital A to Z lie before. So it doesn't matter what you think it should work, but you should know how Python sorts it. Okay. So Python sorts it, and almost probably every language which has ability to compare strings is going to sort it based on ASCII values. Okay, capitals lie before smalls.
तो अगर A की जगह B को कैपिटल किया होता तो भी यही है. मतलब A को स्मॉल ही रहना है.
हाँ, तुम्हें क्या लगता है? तुम्हें क्या लगता है?
सही तो नहीं पता.
नहीं बताओ. चलो, nobody is going to answer. Everybody think about it. Okay, so if this string C was instead of, I already told you how it works. Okay, if it was like this. Okay, if C is like this and I do see a C sort, what is C going to look like? Tell me. No. Everybody please think about it. Most likely it's not going to be the same in my opinion, but अच्छा, सेम रहे. हाँ, most likely same ही रहेगा. You are right. Why? Because small a is the same in all of them. So we compare capital BC with AA and AAA. ठीक है? Capital B is a lower value than a small a, therefore it's going to be the same. You are right. ठीक है. Okay. Is that okay? Any questions? Nope. Okay. Obviously sorting is करी वहाँ पे sorting तुमने उस कोर्स में? Okay. कह सकते हैं तो ठीक है ना, बहुत मुश्किल थी ना, नहीं समझ में आई ना, पाइथन ने तुम्हारे लिए खाली सॉर्ट फंक्शन लगा के कर दी. ठीक है, अच्छी बात है ना. ठीक है, but we are not going to use it. This is probably the only time that you are going to use this sort function. Okay, today is the only time for this course. नहीं, I specifically forbid from using any shortcuts. Okay, so if you are supposed to do sorting, obviously I don't. मुझे अभी तक याद है मेरे 6th-7th क्लास का वो था हिस्ट्री का पेपर. Okay, one of those questions was 5 marks questions was what is the preamble? What is preamble? That was the question. I was very happy कि भाई 5 नंबर का क्वेश्चन है. I wrote a single line, preamble is an introduction to the constitution. मुझे अभी तक याद है. एंड आई गॉट 1 मार्क. मैंने टीचर से आगे लड़ाई पे, यूजुअली लड़ाई नहीं करता था, लेकिन मैं कहा था यार ये सही तो है यार, लेकिन 5 नंबर का सवाल है, थोड़ा तो उसको डिस्क्राइब करो ना कि क्या है. तो सिमिलरली इफ आई एम आस्किंग यू टू सॉर्ट एंड राइट एन एल्गोरिथम फॉर सॉर्टिंग समथिंग, एंड इफ यू राइट C is equal to ABC and C dot sort, obviously what do you expect? क्या नाम है नकल हेड निंजा? हाँ, तुम्हारे नीचे लिखा, तुम्हारी टी शर्ट पे लिखा हुआ है, तो तुमने पढ़ा नहीं होगा, यूजुअली कोई नहीं पढ़ता, लेकिन उसमें नकल हेड लिखा हुआ है. हाँ? चक्षे चक्षन, yes चक्षन. So is that okay? So this is the only, I was not calling him knucklehead. If anybody is confused about it, it's what is written on his t-shirt. Okay. So today, so for this course you can assume that this function does not exist. Okay. So now let us try making dictionaries. ठीक है, बहुत हमने लिस्ट कर लिया. या वन मोर थिंग आई वांट टू मेंशन इज दैट okay, so let us say I want to create a list of squares of a number, means squares of let us say 10 numbers, first 10 numbers. Why don't you write a code to do that? नहीं quiz नहीं है, write in your notebooks. So please write a code for in Python that squares the first, that creates a list L. Let us call that as capital L. The list capital L contains. I have already mentioned this to you, but I will mention it again. Capital L is not the same as small l as far as Python is concerned, and we just saw that also in how it. But that's not really the point. But as far as variables are concerned, they are also different. Capital L is not the same as small l. Okay. Or anything, any other. क्या कोई question? Okay.
हर एक नंबर को एक स्पेसिफिक आईडी मिलती है, तो ऐसे हर एक लेटर कुछ मिलती है.
No. Because the number of the number of strings is uncountably infinite. अच्छा हो सकता है, I don't know, maybe it does, I don't know, but there is no in I know in a programming language called Fortran. अगर किसी ने ये नाम सुना हो, किसी ने सुना है, नाम सुना होगा ऑब्वियसली, कंप्यूटर जिन्होंने पढ़ा है सबको सिखाते होंगे. एनीबडी रिमेंबर द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ फोर्ट्रान? किसी ने सुना फोर्ट्रान? FORTRAN? किसी ने नहीं सुना? सुना भी नहीं है? नेवर हर्ड ऑफ द वर्ड. द कोबोल सुना है? कोबोल नहीं? ICSE वाला कहाँ गया हमारा दोस्त? कहाँ है? नहीं है आज? ओके. क्या? ओके, वही है वो. Anyway, so what was the question? I forgot. Huh? Yeah, character. Yeah. So what I was trying to tell you is that in that language, characters are a different data type. Okay, individual string characters have a different data type. In Python, that's not the case. Even single letters are considered as strings. Okay, there is no difference between a single letter and a multiple letter string as far as their data type is concerned. Obviously it's different in the sense that single letter string is single letter and multiple letters is multiple letters, but other than that the data type is the same. There is a different data type in Fortran, it's called as character, CHAR. Okay, So somebody asked me this question previously, that, and obviously you can see an underline, a squiggly line under L. So obviously it's not going to be n, it's going to give you an error. Okay. So it's not that straightforward to create a list of 10 elements. It's not that straightforward. Okay. Why is it not straightforward? So how do I get rid of this squiggly line? If I want to keep this code as it is and I want to get rid of this squiggly line, what do I do? So why is it not working? The left hand side should have some existence if you're trying to access an element. So what is this doing? The first line of the code is going to do what? It is going to say call L0. Okay, so the first iteration. So L0 doesn't exist. It has no idea what L0 is. If L hota side mein, to it would have worked fine, because defining a new variable is fine. But you are accessing an element of a list. So that list should exist if you want to access it, if you want to assign it to something. Okay. So one possibility is that you could do L is equal to an empty list. Okay. Let us see if it works. Still it doesn't work, because नहीं append तो बाद में आएगा, because L0 doesn't exist, so you can't assign something to L0. L0 doesn't exist. अवेरल कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है इस बात में? How many elements does L have? तो L0 क्या होगा? नहीं, हाँ वही तो कह रहा हूँ. तो L0 doesn't exist. ठीक है ना? So there are no elements in L. So L0 doesn't exist. So therefore you cannot assign something to L0, because L0 itself is not defined. So why does append work? जब हमने append किया था, because it actually adds an extra element. ठीक है. So another way of doing this might be that you could obviously it's a more sort of cumbersome way. Yeah, you're right. Very good word for describing what I was trying to say. Thank you. कितने 10 हो गए या एक बचा है अभी? So what is the answer of Hadassa? What is the answer of line 6 going to be? Why? Why confused? What is it saying? Tell me what is the line 6 is saying. Just read it. Huh? Line 6. Read the line 6. Read it loud. हाँ क्या हुआ? अरे यार print len L. What is difficulty in reading this? Huh? Okay, that's all right. What is your name next to Alsa? Mansa. Yes, Mansa. What do you think is going to be the output of line 6? You can't see it? देख सकते हो ना? हाँ ठीक है. What is the output of line 6 going to be? मैंने हदस्सा से पिछली क्लास में पूछा था कि लेन तुम्हें रीजनेबल लग रहा है, किस चीज़ के लिए था लेन फंक्शन? व्हाट डिड लेन डू? लेन फंक्शन, या गो अहेड, यू आर देयर. या गुड. रिमेंबर हदस्सा? नहीं, don't remember. I asked you in the last class or the class before that. You remember the len part? You remember what was that? Huh? Number of elements. So how many elements do we have in this list? 10. So what should be the output of line number 6? Huh? 10? 10? I don't think you are saying 10, but let us say you are saying 10. We'll assume that you are saying 10. Okay? Okay, is that all right? Don't take photo. Don't take my photo. There is so much photo. I'm really beautiful. Everybody should look at me. But that's all right. But don't take photo. Take photo in your brain. That is the point of this class. Otherwise, why would I spend one whole class 60 minutes, almost 60 minutes, 50, between 50 and 55 minutes every class to go on one code, one 10-line code? Okay, the point is that you don't have to take a photo. Okay. हाँ वो कर सकते थे, that would be a better way. So obviously it's cumbersome, but if you wanted to not change line numbers 2 and 3, this would be one way of doing it. Okay, somebody had asked me this question in after one of the classes 4 days back. So I wanted to mention, because you are going to definitely encounter this problem when you're trying to, but that would have been also okay if you would have encountered this problem and figured it out on your own. That might probably have been a better way of learning, but it's all right. So let us talk about another data type, which is dictionaries. Okay, dictionary. Literally, somebody was saying dictionary thodi hai Python. There are dictionaries in Python. Okay, somebody here was saying there are dictionaries in Python. Let us talk about those. Okay, so let me get rid of all of this. Okay, so the way we define dictionaries is by using curly brackets. Okay, and dictionaries have a key and value associated with them. Key means its index, you can think of it key as the index and value as the value associated with that index. So हमारी जो अभी लिस्ट बनाई थी हमने, if you look at this, जो हमारी कैपिटल L थी, that had L0 as 1, ठीक है, and L1 as 4, L2 as 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what would be if we were to make the same list, okay, if we were to make the same list in the form of a dictionary, what would it look like? Or instead of 0 and 1 2, because 0 is not really telling me what we are trying to describe, so might be we can probably start from 1. तो 1 का स्क्वायर क्या है 1, 2 का स्क्वायर क्या है 4, 3 का स्क्वायर क्या है, so we separate the key and value by a colon. ठीक है, so 3 का स्क्वायर is 9 and 4 का स्क्वायर चलो बहुत है इतना ठीक है. So now, so we know that this dictionary A contains what? It contains a set of elements such that the key is the number and the value is the square of that number. ठीक है, तो अगर मुझे if let us say, let us go back to our terminal and do that there. Now if I wanted to do this, what is this doing? So this will return the value associated with the key 1. ठीक है, this will return the value associated with the key 1. ठीक है, let us say 10 का स्क्वायर क्या होता है 100. Okay, and let us say I forgot 5 6 7 8 and 9. Let us say अब मेरे को लग रहा है यार मैं भूल गया 9 7 को भूल गया, तो let us write it. ठीक है, now let us see what does A7 give me. Okay, and if we look at A, it's the same. ठीक है, so there is no sorting required in the values or the keys. Anywhere no sorting is required. The only relation that we have is between a key and its value. That's all. ठीक है, is that okay? So have you seen any other programming language which allows you to do this? Almost no one allows you to do this, so your life is quite, so in this case we are obviously not it's not really that interesting. But let us say if you wanted to convert the numbers into corresponding English words. ठीक है, let us say if you wanted to do that, why don't you write in your notebooks a dictionary which does that. Okay, you just have to write a single line. The dictionary, let us call it as small l, okay, which has keys as the numbers and their English names. ठीक है, yeah, जैसे 1 corresponds to ONE, ठीक है, ONE 1 सबने पढ़ा है ना? Anybody who doesn't remember that? Okay, so this is how it's going to work. Okay, there is no pre-sorting required. You don't have to worry about okay, I forgot a value. You can always add it. Okay, and how are you going to add to this? Let us say you want to add a third element to this list. What do I do? Append शायद नहीं होता है इसमें. So we could just do, which we couldn't do in list. ठीक है, लिस्ट में मैंने अभी बताया था मैं, उसमें इसमें हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं. We'll say B3 is equal to 3. Now if I look at B, ठीक है, so you can add elements to a dictionary by calling a new key, okay, which doesn't have a previously associated entry into your dictionary and assigning it something. Okay, yeah, what do you think? अभी हमने किया है कुछ, तुम्हें क्या लगता है कि नई डिक्शनरी बनी होगी ये फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस लाइन टू दिस लाइन? हाँ हाँ, लेट अस वेरीफाई इट कि भाई मैंने सही बोला या गलत. Okay, so B, the ID of the B stays the same even though we have mutated B, okay, by adding a new element. Okay, so this set is called, this combination of these two is called as a key value pair. Key value pair. Okay, any questions? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, that's one thing. Good. Let us make it 4th. Okay, so what he is saying is that can we modify the value, okay, associated with the key? We can. Okay, so now B4 becomes 4th. ठीक है, so we can always modify them. So when you assign it for the first time, the new key value pair becomes created, and if you assign it again, the previous value gets overwritten by the new value that you assign it to it. Okay, which this was sort of expected. The previous line based on what we just studied might not have been expected when we are assigning B3 doesn't exist, so if I am assigning something to B3, it is going to say no, it's not possible, but it doesn't do that. Okay, that's how we build dictionaries in Python. Okay, there's another data type called as a tuple. ठीक है, so if you look at it, I have circular brackets and 2 elements in those circular brackets. Now if let us say I wanted to have a single element tuple, I could possibly do that, but I have to put a comma. ठीक है, so if I do this, okay, the answer is going to be an integer. Why is that? Because the bracket something, it just does the evaluation, it comes out to be an integer. Okay, so it returns it as an integer. So but if you have to explicitly say that you want to create a single value tuple, then you have to put a comma. Okay, but what is tuple? Not really that grade of a data type, means it's not really that important, but it's important in the sense that when you return multiple values from a function, the return values are a tuple. How many return statements get executed at once in a function? Only one. Okay, once we encounter one return statement, immediately we exit the function. So if you want to return two values from a function, how do you do that? You could do a comma b. Let us say you wanted to return from a function, you wanted to return a and b. Okay, so let me try writing a function here. Okay. Okay, is that all right? Okay, these are the outputs. 2 comma 4 is the output because I returned x comma x square. So it returns as a tuple. And what do you think tuple is going to be? Mutable or immutable? Huh? Immutable. Good. Okay, you can't change the length of a tuple or whatever. Once you create a tuple, it stays whatever it is. Okay. पता नहीं, I have no idea. Why do they specifically have a tuple? Maybe they don't. It's probably more secure than a list or whatever. Okay, that's a possibility. Why do they means usually in programming languages we do not have, means array is one data type. We usually do not have an associated tuple in most programming languages. But why do they have in Python? I really do not know exactly the reason for that. Okay, we'll stop here. Your assignment is due tonight at 11:59. Please submit it. It's quite easy. Yeah, if you don't get in the second part, you can just use exhaustive enumeration. You will get your solution somewhere. Okay, there are multiple solutions of the place where fx is equal to gx. There's not more than one solution is there. So you have to find all the solutions. Okay. No, we can't do that. That was the point. You're not supposed to do any subtraction or anything. Okay. Even for exhaustive enumeration, you're supposed to do a comparison of fx and gx. Oh, you are saying for the condition fx minus gx. या एक ही बात है वैसे, लेकिन ना करो, एक साइड में दूसरी साइड में ऐड कर दो. ठीक है, ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं. That's not a big. Means as long as you, even if you do fx minus gx and do not use any mathematical ways of cubics, or that was the point. Please do not do that. Okay, fx minus gx is fine as long as you do not simplify it beyond that. Okay, if you use fx minus gx as it is, it's all right. Okay, I'll see you on Friday tomorrow.